Hello, everybody, and good morning. It is Miss McBride. So today we are going to shift gears a little bit. Last week you finished up your narrative writing from the Magic Elizabeth story, where they gave you the beginning of the story, you had to finish it. This week we're going to continue with narrative writing, but this time you're going to have a little more freedom to write about what you want, or to take it in any direction you want. So remember when we talked about the different types of writing prompts? And the first one was the finish the story, where they'll give you a story and you have to finish it. Well, sometimes, like this, they're going to give you a prompt where they give you a little direction, not much. They just kind of give you something to write about, and you can take it any way, shape, or form you want to. And I think this is one of the most fun ones because you get to be creative. You get to create and include characters that you want to include. You get to come up with the setting, the story. It's not given to you. You get to make it, which I think is really fun. And in celebration of this season, it is holiday themed, or it can be, kind of up to you, because you get to decide what they do. So without further ado, this is the writing prompt you're going to start on this week. While pulling out some holiday decorations from the attic, you find a small snow globe. Instinctively, you shake the snow globe to see the snow fly around the inside, but instead, you find yourself swirling through the air. A few moments later, everything calms down and you realize you are no longer in your attic. Write a short story describing where you are and what happens next. Okay, so do you see how this prompt, while it gives you a little direction with what you're starting with, it doesn't give you anything. It doesn't tell you who's going to be there, where you're going, or who you're with. You get to decide all of that. You get to decide what the problem and the conflict and the solution is. You get to decide the order that events happen in. You have full autonomy to make the story whatever you want. It's all your choice, which is very exciting. Today, what I want you to focus on is just planning what your story is going to be about. So, last time we filled out a very basic story map because a lot of the information was already given to us. This time, I want you to be a little more detailed because you have to come up with everything. So, excuse me. On the second slide of the Google slide, there is a story map here that you're going to fill in with your ideas for how you want to continue this, or you want to write this story. So you will just double click in these boxes to put in your text. These don't have to be long, detailed sentences, but bullet point, quick notes of what you want it to be. For example, down here it says setting. So you would type in what your setting is going to be. We don't know what your setting is because at the end of the prompt it says, and you realize you're no longer in your attic, but it doesn't say where you are. So you get to pick where you are. If you wanted to be inside a gingerbread house, you could be inside a gingerbread house. If you wanted to be at your grandma's house, you could be at your grandma's house. You can choose wherever you want to be. So you'll fill in all of these with how you want your story to continue. The events leading up to your climax and the resolution, your falling action, how the story is wrapped up. Remember, all stories have some sort of conflict or problem. And usually where there's conflict, there is a protagonist and an antagonist. This is not always the case, but it is very common. So the protagonist would be the good person, or probably yourself in this case, since it's first person, unless you want to be the evil person. I don't know. But the protagonist is usually the person the story is about and is the stuff that is happening to them. The antagonist is the person who antagonizes or bothers or causes problems for the protagonist. So this would be like the evil villain in the story. Now, there isn't always a person that's necessarily causing the conflict. Sometimes the conflict is just something around the person. So maybe it's like person versus world, or person versus self. Like maybe they're having internal problems. If that's the case in your story, that's okay. I would just write under antagonist whatever the problem is or the conflict is. So if the conflict wasn't necessarily with a person, but was the fact that you're lost, then maybe under antagonist you would write lost, or environment. That's the problem. You can't find your way. Once you fill this in, you are good for today, unless you want to get a head start on writing. But we are going to spend the next couple days writing this. There might be a couple of activities to remind you of important things to include in your writing, but this is what we will spend the next couple days on. I hope you enjoy this as much as I'm looking forward to reading your writing, because I love getting to hear what your creative minds come up with. So wow me and wow yourself and plan an amazing story. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.